Marine navigation is both a science and an art. The science comes from theory, mathematics, instruments, charts, sensors, and proven navigation methods. The art comes from judgment, experience, instinct, and the ability to make the right decision at sea. For thousands of years, successful voyages have depended on this balance. A navigator must understand calculations and technology, but also develop the seafaring awareness that cannot be learned only from books. Good navigation begins when knowledge, experience, and careful judgment work together. A good navigator plans every voyage carefully before the ship sails. Once the vessel is underway, the navigator gathers information from many sources, checks the ship's position, and compares that position with the voyage plan, operational commitments, and the expected dead reckoning position. The navigator does not simply watch the ship move. He or she constantly evaluates whether the vessel is where it should be, whether the plan is still safe, and whether any danger is developing. Good navigation means remaining ahead of the vessel at all times. A skilled navigator anticipates danger before it becomes an emergency. He or she watches the vessel's progress, studies developing risks, and prepares for changing conditions. Navigation is not only about knowing the present position, it is also about understanding what may happen next. The navigator must be ready to respond to traffic, shallow water, weather changes, equipment failure, or any navigational emergency. Staying ahead of the vessel means thinking several steps in advance and never allowing the ship to enter danger without warning. Navigation methods have changed throughout history, and new methods often make voyages safer, faster, and easier. However, no single method is perfect in every situation. Each navigation method has advantages and disadvantages, and the navigator must decide which method or combination of methods is most appropriate for the vessel, available equipment, operating area, weather, visibility, and level of risk. One of the most important judgments in navigation is selecting the right method for the conditions at hand. Some navigation methods are long established and remain important today. Bathymetric navigation uses the shape and features of the seafloor to support position fixing. Celestial navigation uses measurements of the sun, moon, planets, or stars, often taken with a sextant, and reduces those observations into lines of position. Dead reckoning advances a known position using course and distance to predict where the vessel should be. When corrected for leeway, current, and steering error, dead reckoning can produce an estimated position. These methods build the foundation of navigational understanding. Modern navigation also uses electronic and sensor-based systems. Inertial navigation computes position, velocity, and attitude by integrating data from gyros and accelerometers. Radio navigation uses radio waves to determine position through electronic devices. Radar navigation determines distance or bearing from objects with known positions, and this is separate from radar's use for collision avoidance. Satellite navigation uses radio signals from satellites to determine position. These methods provide powerful information, but they must be understood, checked, and managed properly by the navigator. Modern integrated bridge systems combine inputs from many ship sensors. These systems can automatically plot the vessel's position, display the route, and provide control signals to help maintain a preset course. As navigation becomes more electronic, the navigator increasingly becomes a manager of electronic, mechanical, and human resources. The navigator chooses system presets, interprets system output, monitors vessel response, and ensures that the bridge team understands what the system is doing. Technology supports navigation, but it does not replace professional responsibility. In practice, a navigator should combine different navigation methods into one integrated understanding of the vessel's position and safety. The navigator should never feel comfortable relying on only one method when other methods are available. Every system has strengths and weaknesses, and electronic systems can fail, give inaccurate data, or be misinterpreted. Even with automated position fixing and electronic charts, professional mariners must maintain conventional navigation skills, including piloting and celestial navigation. The safety of the ship and crew may depend on skills that are very similar to those used by earlier generations of seafarers. Navigation requirements change depending on where the vessel is operating. In the inland waterway phase, the ship navigates in narrow canals, rivers, channels, and estuaries where space is limited and position accuracy must be high. In the harbor and harbor approach phase, the vessel approaches harbor entrances, bays, sounds, and approach channels. In the coastal phase, the ship operates within about 50 miles of the coast or inside the 200-meter depth contour. In the ocean phase, the vessel navigates outside the coastal area in open sea. Each phase requires different accuracy, fix intervals, and navigation system choices. The navigator must choose a proper mix of navigation systems for each phase of the voyage. Dead reckoning is useful in all phases because course and speed can always be advanced from a known position. Piloting and radar are especially important in inland, harbor approach, and coastal waters, where nearby features can be used for frequent position fixing. Radio navigation supports harbor approach, coastal, and ocean phases. Bathymetric, celestial, and inertial navigation are mainly associated with coastal and ocean navigation. Satellite navigation is broadly useful across all phases, although in restricted inland areas it may require careful verification. The best navigator uses the table as a guide, but still applies judgment, cross-checking, and experience to the real situation.